Yeah, Roger went on.
So everybody want to participate?
Well, we will.
Said he was?
I thought he would, but I guess not. Casey coming up the coast.
Well,
Don't ask me no further questions now.
well, it's stuff you've probably told us before, but they just haven't been recorded. We
did
want to
a
make
lot
sure we have it
We
straight.
did a lot of talking when Wilson was still here and we were at the house and we did talk. Sheila and Derek and somebody else was.
Yeah, your shirt tail's out there.
I'm hooked up here.
Oh, he's hooked
got us
up to
hooked
a
up there.
microphone.
Maybe you should do this. Look out.
You can still tuck it in. Just
Tuck it in,
It's the
Dad.
mic up
Tuck
here.
it in.
Is it showing?
Well, I mean the shirt a little bit.
His stomach's too big.
Dad,
He weighs,
Dad,
he
I
lost
heard
2
you
pounds
lost some
in a
weight.
year.
Oh,
Well, you
no,
can probably poke it in
I
the
think I
ears.
know where it is.
no, I gained 2 pounds last time, didn't I?
held it, didn't you?
I know I did.
You're not going to take me, are you?
No, no.
We'll turn it over.
Please don't.
Okay. When you're ready.
Go ahead.
Cut loose.
Dad, when did you first, when you were born and were little, what do you first remember about you, yourself, and your life?
You're brown.
Well, now that's, for the first remember, that's pretty hard to tell.
Well,
I
whatever.
remember living down on Copper Creek. And,
Copper Creek.
In Kentucky. Kentucky?
Is that where we
University.
went? South? Did we go there?
and probably Benton at that time. We played together, you know, back then. And I ain't gonna be able to think what I'm talking about, so that's
all right.
gonna be trouble. There's
We're
something
not
in the
hurrying.
ground, there's something in the ground that we watched. And they
An
still,
animal? An animal or
no,
something?
it's a bug of some kind.
Some kind of bug
Bug.
that Benton liked to
And
watch.
they'd make a where they come out of the ground, they made a ridge on top. What did they
Tumblebug?
call them?
Talking about a tumblebug?
I think that's stink bugs. No. Like a,
Like a,
What, it wasn't a
Where's-
slug or,
First you get over the top of one. Now I won't be able to think of the name of what the darn thing was. But she had a little rhyme. She said to him,
that's all right. Tell us
That's-
what
that's-
year were you born, Dad?
yeah, that's a,
Something
we're
easy.
on Copper Creek
So you were born
where I was born at, yeah.
March the 29th, 19 and,
1929, 1970.
1917, okay. There we
Oh,
go.
well,
Put
oh,
plates
boy.
where they need to go when they start to.
Doodle bugs.
Doodle bugs.
Doodle bugs, that's what they call them.
Well, that's what I call the babies,
Doodle
doodle
bug,
bugs.
doodle bugs.
really, I thought they were
bugs.
dune bugs.
Come out of a house full of children just got burned up. And that, I can remember that, I just about didn't remember it though. But that's what she'd get over and talk to that doodle bug.
Them the things that rose cow turds.
that's what I thought. That's what I said.
That probably didn't mean much, but anyway, I can remember that part, but about forgot it.
How
I
old were you?
about forgot what the doodle bug was called.
How old were you, Dad?
Well, probably at the most 6 years old.
6.
You moved to Ohio when you were what
No,
age?
we was out 7
I know.
years old, but we moved from Copper Creek to Hardin County, see. And that's where we lived at least a year, I'm gonna say. I don't know, I could have found out a long time ago, but I didn't do it. But we was up, I don't believe we was up there much over a year in Hardin County. And I think, I always heard that reason we left, reason we went up there, Grandpa Hopkins he had a feed mill. Sold tuxedo feed. And Grandpa had, I think that was one reason I went up there, to help him out in the feed mill. And we lived up upstairs for first few months we was there. We lived upstairs over this feed mill. It had a 2-story building. And the high schools right in behind us, across the railroad. Yeah, we to get to school down over when we was in town. Now we moved up a little place called Terry's Fork. We didn't live up over our apartment very long. I don't know how long we lived there, but we didn't live up there very long. But the school, you went up just a little piece above where we lived, and went over the railroad track on a scaffold like iron. It was something made over the railroad track for people to walk up to school.
Yeah.
And what
Goes
town
walk.
was that in?
Copper.
Huh?
Copper Creek, Kentucky?
No, that's up Harlan County.
Oh,
Harlan County? Or Harlan Town?
Walden's, yeah, Harlan County. Walden's Creek's where we lived the first time. But we moved from there, it was back up the holler from that. They call it Terry's Fork.
Terry's Fork, that's where we went to see that bridge when we went to Kentucky, am I correct? That bridge that you wanted to see if it's still there and it wasn't? They built that great big new bridge, on that Terry's Fork?
Well, now you got me. There's a new bridge.
You said, I wanna go back down through here and see if that bridge is there, because you guys said you took a ferry across the river.
Oh, you're talking about Kentucky River.
Yeah.
That's where we went. That's just below Lexington.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't close to where I'm talking about. And the Harlan County where I was talking about.
Okay.
Is this where your dad worked? Where did your real dad, is this where he worked in the coal mines in this time?
Let's go back
Yeah,
to
this
your
is coal
real dad.
mine town. Yeah, this
Yeah.
the Tipples, coal mine Tipple was up the end of this Terry's Fork. That's where it went back up the hill, you know. And that coal come down off that hill into Tipple down here, and the back wagons or boxcars and everything else underneath there and fill them up with coal. And the railroad track run up there now. They ain't none running there because the coal mines have worked it out. But they was still working them coal mines. We left up there. But
Is that where he was hurt?
huh?
Is that where your dad was hurt? Your real dad was hurt?
No, they got hurt in Perry County down there. Hazard, Kentucky.
So did a
That's where
mine
it's a
cave
coal
in? Is
mine.
that
It wasn't
what
right in
happened?
town, but it was closed.
What happened? How'd he get hurt?
Well, mine caved on him. Slate rock fell. Slate rock fell off the ceiling and
Uh-huh.
broke his back and injured his kidney.
He survived for a while though, right?
Huh?
He survived for a little while?
Yeah, I never did find out. I never did how long, I don't know how long he lived that way, but I was born in March and he died in almost 2 months later.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Dad.
Now, Dad, I have letters that you gave me that when Katie put some letters in a little cedar chest. And these letters were to my grandmother, Elizabeth, from your real
Elizabeth
dad
Cornett?
while he was sick. These letters were from Lizzie to him and him to Lizzie. And she would ask how she was making it and, worried about
So he wasn't
finances.
home,
So he
you said.
didn't know. He was somewhere
Oh.
recuperating.
You talking about some letters that Mom and
Right.
Dad wrote together, yeah.
Grandma wrote to Papaw, and it was while he was recuperating. And I have those letters, and anybody can read them. They're
I
just
think I read those.
they're just in a little cedar chest that Katie Guy gave them. Remember, you gave them to me, and I said I'll take care of
I
them.
made copies of them.
Yeah, and you made copies,
I
and
thought it was just away at work on those.
He was,
rather than being- yeah.
and sometimes he was away at work.
But there's
others that while
mentions.
he was in the hospital, you're recuperating, I think. And what I remember about it is the fact that his concern for her making it and selling eggs and milk and all this
I
kind of
was getting
stuff.
ready to ask if back then they got any
And-
type of kid or, you know, something
Versa,
for being
Versa
hurt in the
was
mind
the only child at
to
that point.
survive.
Yeah,
Because she referred to Versa, or he'd asked
Yeah.
about Versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
They
called.
should have brought those letters. Should we?
But they have, you know, they're real compassionate letters, and not real flowery, but
Of course, Mom was married to Cleve Wilmot when we went to Harlan.
so
She was married to Cleve Wilmot.
before you ever left
The
Harlan?
part you remember,
My
she was
stepdad.
already married to
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Yeah, because he
Of course,
wasn't. very old.
I'd say I was about 6 years old when we moved to Harlan, because at 7 years old we moved to Ohio. And
How old was you when you moved to Ohio?
huh?
How old was you when you moved to Ohio?
7 years. old.
7?
We moved in, I'm going to say, in August of 1917. No, I mean,
1924 then.
Yeah, 1924, yeah. 24th day of 1924. But I think it's in August of 1924 we moved to Ohio. Because what reason I remember that, they shipped stuff like the cooking utensils in big boxes and put them on a freight train. They shipped them to Ohio. And that old box stood around the barn. We had a barn where we lived. And that old box sat around that barn a long time. And it seemed me like it was in August 1924. It was wrote on that box.
Dad, what do you know about your grandparents?
Well, I don't know too much about my grandpa on my dad's side. He's gone when I was born. He wasn't around. And of course, my grandma, she lived way up to her 80s. I don't know what year she died anymore.
Her name? Her name
My
was
grandmother on my dad's side,
what is her name?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. I don't know what her middle name was. She had a middle name, I
Well,
don't know
that's-
it. But
Is that
she
the
was a Wells.
Hopkins?
Elizabeth
She was a
Wells.
Wells.
The Hopkins
grandma
that we
was
went-
Wells before she married.
Wells. Oh, poor Lord.
My granddad.
We went
And they
to
lived
see
right there close to one another, you know.
Yeah.
The old Wells farm was right next to where Grandpa owned, and my grandpa lived. In fact, their farm joined the Wells farm. Is
Kind of
that
like when I grew up, I was between both grandparents.
do that?
I said, when I grew up, I had grandparents on both sides of me.
Yeah.
So did I.
And you too. And Richard, and Roger, and Jimmy.
And it was different.
Flyhue was my grandpa.
You didn't, did you, Sal?
Flyhue Cornett.
Yeah, I've got it written down.
Oh,
Do you know,
right.
how do you spell
I don't
his
know.
name? Elizabeth and Lyhu?
Flyhue. I've seen
It's
it. I've seen it
L-Y.
wrote down like his picture how it's spelled.
Okay, Dad, when we went to the cemetery to look for Hopkins, remember when Sally and I went to a cemetery we'd never been in, and we found this stone of who he was looking, it was your grandpa. Remember, we went to Germantown, and we found this stone it was your
It's the
grandpa.
same place my dad's buried at. Is
It was
That'd be
the
the
one I'd
place.
never been in this
No,
cemetery.
Dad in Germantown.
Germantown.
Remember the cemetery we
Oh,
went to
there we go.
for
That
leaving?
was
Not
Hopkins.
too
We didn't know, you didn't know where it was at,
I
we just
couldn't
drove
find
to
his
it.
grave too.
Sally just looked over there and there it was.
But that's
William
That's Mom's
Hopkins, wasn't
dad.
it? Wasn't it Hopkins? William?
That'd be on Grandma's side, yeah.
That was on Grandma's side,
Oh, that's another issue.
because he was buried with
Not
his
really.
son. Because I was asking, well, he said that's where Grandma, or something,
I
on
just said-
Dad, Grandma
asked
Wilmot's
about
side, her mother and dad are buried in Germantown.
Yeah.
Or he is with his son.
Yeah, he
What was
is,
his name?
I got
He's
that.
buried there with Lum. No,
Wasn't
No,
that ain't right.
I thought it was William.
They got a boy, oh, Felix.
Felix, yeah.
Felix.
Felix,
His
buried there
son
with
was,
him.
yeah.
Well, Sheila said she heard
He got killed in a mine out in California. Him and the crew was working on it, putting a tunnel on the mountain out there. And he was out in front of everybody else, and the mine got him, just killed him. It all fell in off.
So what was Grandma Wilmot's dad's name?
Huh?
What was Grandma Wilmot's dad's name?
Grandpa Wilmot.
No,
His
Grandma
name is-
Wilmot, what was her dad, Hopkins? What was his first
Wasn't it
name?
William?
Was it William?
Was it William T. or something like? I got it wrote
Grandma-
down.
Got a picture of
I
it.
have it in a book.
our grandma Wilmot's dad, not your grandma. Is that what you're asking?
Lizzie's dad, Lizzie.
Who was Lizzie's dad?
Yeah, what was his name?
Your
Do
mom's.
you remember?
Your mom's dad, what was his name?
Columbus.
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 Hopkins,
That's
Columbus.
not
was
what was
his
on
name.
that thing, I don't think.
They called him
I got that
Lum.
in my little book.
Sheila says she was talking to you and she remembered you talking about a grandmother that you had to go visit because she was ill.
Ill.
And you took a bus. She said she remembered her mentioning you took a bus to go see her. But that's probably after you'd moved to Ohio maybe though, huh?
Well,
I guess she wasn't
I see
expected to live and you went down to see her.
Mom and mother died young. There was 2 kids in that family. That was Connie and my mother.
Okay, so you don't know which grandmother this was though that you remember that you went to see?
Well,
You had to take a bus to go see her.
had to take a bus.
So I'm assuming that was after you moved to Ohio, I'm sure, yes.
Dad, your mom's mom died giving birth to Elizabeth, is what you told us.
Who's that?
That's right.
Your mom, Grandma Wilmot's mother died giving birth to,
Mom. Mom.
yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what happened. Both of Grandpa's first wives, you know, I think there's about 6 kids in the first wife he had. But she died of childbirth. And
Well,
and Mom, Dad married, and my granddaughter married. Mom's mother was a Robinson. My mom,
Robinson,
my mother's
I've heard that before.
was Robinson. I'm pretty sure about that. Because whenever the twins was born, Mom had an uncle lived there at Moles, Kentucky. That's in Hardin County too. And we went up there one time whenever the twins were born, Jack and Jerry. And her uncle tried to get Mom to give him one of them kids. I never will forget that. I was pretty old.
Nowadays, they probably would.
I just had been about,
They did it back then too. It just wasn't something they talked about. They were open, they were closed mouth about a lot of things, but I don't think it really, there's a lot.
They'd have been
difference between
16
today
years
and what
younger than me.
Those years, but
I was born in 17, they was born in 33, but
they
that'd
just
be
didn't talk about it.
In 16 years,
16 years difference.
16 years later.
Reagan had a couple questions. I just talked to Sheila in Phoenix, Scottsdale. Reagan is visiting Sheila. So she wanted to ask you what you ate during those years you were raised.
What I ate,
What food did you have?
Anything.
I wasn't like the old days.
Whatever you could get, right?
We had fried potatoes and breakfast. Used to have gravy,
Biscuits and gravy.
biscuits and gravy.
Same thing like we grew
And
up.
for supper, we'd have cornbread milk.
Yeah.
I knew the cornbread.
Lots of beans, garden.
Oh, yeah, we had beans. Most of the dinner time we had beans, but
They didn't have a lot of meat.
but we had supper. We had cornbread almost every night for supper. You thought you'd got tired of it.
Now, We'd love it, wouldn't we?
That's all you had.
Talking about food, what type, do you guys, did most of the things that you had, did you grow it?
Do what?
Did you grow this food and process your meal, or
No,
did you
we
have
had-
to buy all
no,
this
we
stuff
had-
already?
We had to buy our own cornmeal, you
Your
know.
own cornmeal?
Yeah, and of course, I can remember the first time I ate cereals, I went to Ohio. And we had a
Had
grocery.
that Whole cereal till then?
Yeah, I think cornflakes first one ever come out with it.
But he's
cornflakes.
still
And
young.
you still eat corn
Buy 2 big boxes every time we get groceries.
I know we had a little store just
I'm
above
talking
us,
about these boxes.
about half a block above our house where we lived, or Sunbury. They had cornflakes back then. I don't remember reading
I
it back
wondered,
then.
I was just
Kentucky.
wondering about that the other day, when those came into being. We don't know, now I know.
I don't
sort
know
of.
when they ever went to Kentucky, but I don't remember having no cornflakes down in Kentucky.
And Reagan wants to know how you celebrated birthdays. in
How
your
to
lifetime.
celebrate a birthday?
How did you
Well,
celebrate?
just another day back then.
Most of the time
you know.
it was.
They don't do it like they
Wasn't like it
do
is
today.
now, huh?
Now, some people might have, but we didn't. No, we just had one day birthday after another.
You got one more.
What
No,
did-
no
what, your
presents,
mom-
no
did-
presents.
Did your mom recognize you the day you were
Well,
birthday?
I
though?
don't
And
think so.
She
I
sure
don't think
did.
so.
It's happy birthday,
I
Jim, and
can't-
I'm
no,
gonna make
I
you a
don't
birthday
think-
cake today.
I don't think
No?
that happened.
Well, Grandma was pretty strict, wasn't she? Grandma,
Wilmot?
wasn't she pretty strict with you?
Well, yeah, she used to switch a lot. And I had it coming. But she used to switch.
that's
She
the way
never
she
used a
be.
paddle or belt or nothing like that. She always used a switch, and boy, that hurt.
it hurt
The old
worse.
key switches.
Talk about holidays, what about Christmas? How did you celebrate Christmas?
Huh?
How did you celebrate Christmas? Did you receive gifts, and did you have a tree, and
We didn't get a candy bar. No,
Or an orange?
At least you didn't get no coal.
Huh?
You didn't get any coal?
No.
you didn't have a Christmas
didn't get
tree?
any-
One Christmas,
candy
I
bar.
remember.
Candy bar,
We,
yeah.
that, one Christmas,
We-
and that's
I
like we went to Ohio, of course. And I was probably, where to live at now, for where to live at. But we got a, I don't think we lived in Sunbury at that time. I'm pretty sure we didn't. Because I'd have been 1929 when we left Sunbury.
What year did you move to Ohio? Do you,
24?
24,
1924?
first 24.
What did Grandpa Wilmot do for a living when he was raising
Because
you
he was
guys?
a sawmill man.
I knew,
And
I knew that.
he was running, I guess he was running a sawmill when he was married Mom. I don't know about that, but his sawmill was sitting on my grandma Cornette's place, where the sawmill's at, because it had a creek run through it, you know, and everything run with steam back then, you know. You didn't have gasoline engine. And he'd get the water out of that creek, keep his boiler, and put water in his boiler, make that steam. And that's when we left Kentucky. I don't know who got the mill. I don't remember that part, but that mill was sitting out there on Grandma's place when we went to Harlan. But I never forget Benton. He'd get a mouse. We hung out at the sawmill a good bit, see me like, and Benton, I don't know where the mouse come from, but there's mice around that sawmill. And he'd get one of them and run me a whole place. And he couldn't have been very old then. He could have,
That's why he does it
he
to
couldn't have
us.
been
Yeah, he
very
does
old
to
then.
us.
Well, I was just 7 years old, went to Ohio. And that's down on Copper Creek, where this
That's
sawmill
exactly
was
why
at.
you did that to us.
But Dad never run a sawmill after that, till he went to Ohio, and we moved to when we moved to Preble County, that had been in 1934 too, spring of 1934. We moved to Preble County.
Back
And
to,
there's,
oh, go ahead, sorry, Dan.
there's a guy that had a sawmill, and he had a guy that done the sawing for him, and he couldn't sharpen a saw, but he run the mill, and somehow or another Clayton found out about Dad being a sawmill man, and he got Dad to come and work for him, and Clayton Shule was the guy's name. He let Johnson go. His name was Johnson. The last name was Johnson. He let this guy Johnson go and hired Dad. So, but Dad, he didn't like to be working for people. So he told Clayton, he said, I don't work for nobody. So I said, if you don't do, I'll go half with you on the sawmill and give me half of what to make out of it. Clayton took him up on it.
When we went down to Kentucky last year,
Huh?
when we were in Kentucky last year, we were in a little town called Wathen, and that's where you saw your first motion picture show.
Oh, that's Walden's Creek.
Waltham's Creek?
Walden's Creek, yeah.
Wallens.
Yeah. That's where we lived when we first went to Ohio, or went to Harlan, see, up over the feed mill. That's I was in Walden.
Okay.
And didn't Grandma Wilmot have a furniture store or something there?
Not down there.
Not in that
No,
area?
Mom had after we moved to Ohio, she got to go into sales and here comes somebody.
Hey,
Oh, that's Bloom Shorty.
you're fine.
Your party's about over?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just doing some visiting here.
Just say now, I'm not here to run you off or anything, I have to.
We're taping something.
You don't know any of these people, do you?
You don't know any of these people, do you?
Not any of them. He's gray-headed ladies.
Good to see you.
Well, what was I talking about?
Well, Grandma's place that she had, that was in Gratis, wasn't it?
Oh, that store she had.
Eaton.
No, that
She had
was
used clothing in Kentucky.
Damn, the nice clothes, wasn't it?
that was
In
a,
Kentucky,
But
she
Dad,
used
we
to take
stopped.
clothes down, she'd go down.
she had a store at,
Remember when we went to this town, when we went to Kentucky and you were showing us behind that one house is where you guys lived, or she had her furniture store or something?
no, she had,
Or clothing store, or some kind of store?
she went to Sears they had, bought all kinds of different
Yeah,
stuff.
like
And
kind
and
of a
she had
flea
that
market.
store.
We went to sales at the Eaton Sale Grounds, or Fairgrounds,
Well, no,
wasn't
I'm
it?
still
Fairgrounds,
talking
yeah.
Kentucky.
I know it,
Auctions.
I'm thinking ahead
So-
of you, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was talking about. Where we stopped at that convenience store and he was trying to figure out which
Where the house it was.
that they lived in and,
Mom was always doing something to help make a living. We always had cows, you know, after we moved on the farm. We always had cows, 4 or 5 cows. And she'd take them, had a milk route, butter out, churn them on butter, and
remember
take the
churning.
butter. And she had a that's the common churn to start out with. That's kind of it. And she had a milk route for, how long? Well, after we left, she still had it when we moved to Preble County. She still had that milk route. And of course, when they left that farm, that was it. Next place she rented, I don't remember Mom having take a. Well, we don't remember we didn't even take our cattle with us that place. I'm very sure. That farm was up above Gratis. Yeah, it's got a name for it up there. Everybody think of that's where Joey got killed. Logan.
did he ever answer you about the motion picture?
It's right above Gratis.
I know where that is either.
Yeah, he said it's where he saw his
Where's
first.
that?
You couldn't remember what it was.
But anyway, I think my mom went out the little milk delivery before we moved up there. And that'd been in 39. I'm sure, same year you was born.
Let's switch gears a little bit here, and Sheila wanted you to talk about how you met our mom, and some stories, maybe.
Who met Mom?
You,
Yeah, when you met our mother.
Marie,
Oh,
Yeah.
it was,
Stella.
that was in
We know
19...
you got married and,
First time I ever seen her, I was who on for a while.
first time you
She
saw her, you
wasn't- she wasn't
decided
a
to say
friend.
yours.
What did you say? When
I
you-
said the first time I seen her, I knew I'm going to her for my wife.
Worked too, didn't it? 62 years, yeah.
She,
Early bird gets the worm.
something else.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah. I heard that before, Sherry. What about,
She'd been about 13 years old, too.
she was what?
She'd have been about 13.
When you first met her?
When I first met her.
13? Oh, my goodness.
Of course, we went to the same school, rode the same bus. And,
She was pretty too, wasn't she?
yeah.
So about 3 years later, you married her, maybe 2
2 years. I
2
think.
years
She
later.
was
'Cause
15.
she
when we got
wasn't quite
married.
16, was she?
She was 15 in May, and we married in November.
November.
I just think our Reagan, or our Haley's just turned 15. I tell her this too. I tell her, maybe she'll think about things. When did you start playing the guitar?
I played the guitar, started playing when I lived there in Preble County. And the guy was named Borders. They was their neighbors, and their boy played guitar. He learned me a few chords on the guitar.
Oh,
I never did have a guitar though. We come to Indiana, and Richard and Jimmy, they wanted to play a guitar, so I bought them one, and $19 guitar,
Did you play it?
flat top guitar.
Remember you playing a guitar? You didn't, did you?
I can't remember much about a guitar except later, you guys.
I remember I tried.
And they thought they wanted to play a guitar, so I bought them that guitar and
I think Marilyn.
made their fingers too sore.
And Ernie moved down into it.
And
Things are really sorry
That's
about
it,
that.
he worked.
the guy was teaching them was
You don't remember taking guitar lessons?
Engelman, not Donald Engelman. He was giving them lessons, and he wasn't charging nothing for them. And after they could give it up, Donald he wanted me to go ahead and play. So I went. That's what got me playing. But I just knew very few chords on a guitar whenever I bought him that guitar. I think maybe the only key I play is a G.
And I
I
know.
can't, I don't know what G is.
It didn't rub off on your daughters, I don't think, too much, the music thing.
Granddaughters maybe, but not the daughters.
So Richard wound up with the guitar though.
You guys have anything?
Down home.
Just trying to think of.
That'd be worth something one of these days if you keep it long enough.
Yeah.
As far as your schooling that you had,
You what?
your schooling,
My schooling went to Boylan's Creek.
9th grade?
Boylan's Creek.
when you
That's
started
where I started.
school.
Yeah, well,
Now, I seemed like I went to some little school in down there in Copper Creek, but I'm not sure about that. Versa told one time that I was,
Move, he probably did.
I might have been in school then, I don't know. I can't tell you. But anyway, Versa told me one time that I'd got up, hear a car coming. The old schoolhouse was, it stayed there a long time.
I'd have a picture of it somewhere.
And first said, I got up and run to see who it was out of the class.
Oh,
And she said to come back, said, well, that's Ed's old car. That was Dad's brother, stepdad's brother, Ed's old car.
you didn't have much traffic during those times.
Oh,
did
you didn't have not very much automobile traffic back then.
when did you start driving, Dad?
Nah, Mom broke Benton in before I got drive.
Oh, that's not fair.
Huh?
Benton got to learn before you did?
He got to driving before I did. He was about 18 years old probably when I started driving. Well, see, he couldn't drive till he was 16, And see,
Up and
he'd
down
had
the
to be,
lane.
he'd had been 16, and Mom learned him how to drive. An old Overland car. Overland,
Overland car?
yeah. You ever hear of Overland?
No.
My mom, we left Harlan County. We had an T-model Ford. We left Harlan County, T-model. And Dad got to Broadhead, Kentucky. They got to Broadhead. There's a dealership there that was selling them, what do I call it?
Overland.
Overland?
Huh?
Overland?
Overland. And Dad traded that car out on Overland. Got brand new. Had curtains on it.
Curtains?
Yeah, and curtains on windows. But they had made a sedan, they called it a sedan that had glass all the way around. And after Dad's got in Ohio, there's one of his friends that he raised up in Kentucky, had one of them, and called him a coach. And Dad, he liked that coach. And the other guy liked the touring car, they call them, touring, wasn't it? Yeah, touring car had they had curtains on them. He liked that, and so him and Dad traded. And that's the kind of car that me and Benton started driving, so Overland.
Didn't have any GPS on it, did it?
I don't know what that is.
He says, huh?
We probably only have two colors, gray and black, maybe white.
Oh, gosh.
No, no.
You want to fill us in a little bit about our two little brothers and sister that we lost? Sheila said it might be good to be on a tape. Like Betty Lou was born in,
Randy?
Randy and Betty Lou. Do you want to talk about that, or?
No.
Sometimes somebody wants to know what's going on.
Marie's family doctors may have been one reason we lost him, Betty Lou. We took 2 weeks vacation, went all the way back to Harlan County, and I had a 8-bottle Ford Roadster then. And had a rumble seat in it.
Ford roaster. I mean, not a roaster, but a roadster.
And Betty Lou, I don't remember too much about that either, but she might have been a little sick when we left on our vacation. And we just gone 1 week and she's getting worse. So we had to turn around and come back. We left, we just took a week's vacation instead of 2. We seemed to take 2 weeks. First, she paid for the trip.
She was with you?
Yeah, she, of course, early to go with us, she had to work, you know. And she paid for the trip, bought the gas and all our grub.
But she didn't notice the baby seemed sick or anything?
Well, you know, I've often wondered about that. It's kind of funny that if Betty Lou was sick, why she'd even let us start with her. But maybe she didn't know that, or maybe I'm not trying to hold. I'm not holding up for her, but I always thought about that. How come we took that trip? And I don't know, maybe the person didn't know she was bad, was sick, you know, at all. I don't know. But anyway, we left Harlan and come back and we stopped in Mount Vernon. She wasn't getting any better, so we stopped in Mount Vernon. That's our Intro Valley, county seat of Rockcastle County. And took Betty Lou to the doctor. And the doctor told us that the best thing you do is get that baby some milk. It's been churned and the crocks churned.
Now, let's say that
And that
again.
buttermilk, you know.
Buttermilk.
Yeah. And of course, we had to go back down through Grant when it was that time, went with us to Harlan. And we left him off at Ed, his Uncle Ed's, or Copper Creek. Then we had to come back through there, pick him up. So when we did that, well, first you know an old woman down in there that Mom had raised up with. It churned all the time and had a crock churn. So we went by there and got us milk, got buttermilk. Well, it didn't seem like it helped her, but I don't know. But anyway,
Well, the
just
grand-
8 weeks
there was the
old, they was-
grandmother's involved too, I mean.
she was
they
8
just
weeks,
didn't-
8 weeks old the day she was buried. But we come back on Monday, I don't know what day it was to come back, but
Do you remember
Jesse
how much
wanted
she
us-
weighed? Do you remember how much she weighed? Weight?
she just weighed 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds, I believe it was, it said. You weighed,
And I weighed,
you
what,
just weighed
3?
3 pounds, 3.5 pounds.
And I made it and she didn't. Isn't that strange?
And then come me, and I weighed 9.
You weighed 9
I was
pounds.
big one.
Dad, didn't you say that she was an
I don't know
8-month
why I
baby?
get all the
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah,
No, yeah, she's
yeah.
8
Marilyn was
months.
a 7-month and she was an 8-month baby.
Yeah. It's always
And they
funny.
say,
remember
even
hearing
today,
that
they
before.
say
Yeah.
that the
But they
chance of
always said
survival is better with
back
the
then
7 than the
the
8.
8-month baby didn't have a chance to live.
Isn't that funny? And no incubators and
Ah,
nothing?
that's kind
Yeah.
of funny too. But anyway,
think I
we
must have
took
been.
we took Betty Lou up to Dr. Crum, or Gratis, and he said there ain't nothing wrong with that baby. Ah, there ain't nothing wrong with that baby. What else we have to do? Well, she wasn't getting any better, so I said we would take her to Germantown with my family's doctor, Dr. Kemper. That's where we took her. He just didn't take him long to tell us that that baby just needs to be in the hospital. Says she's dying. That's what he said. Well, how come
she
that love doctor
dehydrated?
didn't know that? Huh?
Was she dehydrated?
That's what it was, dehydrated. She vomited her stuff up, you know.
Couldn't keep anything down?
Yeah. But that buttermilk was supposed to help, but it seemed like it didn't.
She had something else wrong with her.
There must have been, they just didn't.
At least one doctor said that's what get her straightened up. So it didn't work.
And she died that night after you took her to the hospital, didn't she?
Yeah, she died 10 o'clock that night. Middletown Hospital where we took her. Yeah. Yeah, she's just 8 weeks old, day she buried.
Who'd she look like?
Hmm.
Who did she look like? Do you recall?
I don't know, it just looked like a baby.
It's a guy
So she
thing.
didn't look like Marilyn, she didn't look like Shirley.
Wasn't here
It's
yet,
hard to tell
I
at
know,
that
but,
age.
you know, and remember you as a baby
Yeah.
too, did they favor?
because I was a big fat pig. I was fat.
I
so that
was
would make-
too.
They saved all the fat for you. They let me
Yeah,
be-
I got all of it, didn't I? I still got it too. Well, I remember Randy. Randy is another story too, isn't it?
Yeah, he
And,
lived 5.5 months though.
You just knew that things weren't right, didn't you?
You know.
Because he didn't cry.
Doctor, what was her
Nowadays,
doctor
they would
name?
know they had his condition before they're ever born.
I remember him smiling all the time. He was always, every time I go to the crib, he'd
That was
smile.
about it,
He
wasn't it?
was, he's just sweet as he could be.
Never caused any trouble, or just never.
I remember thinking as a little girl, why he wasn't coming back. I just thought it wasn't real, you know, it was like, it was a dream that he would come back. But he always had the warmest room in the house.
But, well, what was her doctor name on the show, Earl Goody?
Bean Blossom or?
Doctor.
Dr.
We don't?
Gillette,
Oh,
Doc
my
Litt?
Chatton, Dr. Chatton,
Yeah,
Dr. Chatton.
Dr. Chatton, that's who it was. He's the one that brought her into the world, you know. And I can remember him saying something, but I can't remember exactly what it was, though.
He knew when he was born that there was something
When
wrong.
when he was born, that's what Dr. Chatton said he made some kind of remark, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And after he passed away, well,
So
I
he
think,
pretty much knew there was something
well,
wrong.
there was, he had something wrong with him, I don't know what it was. But
I guess they call it Down syndrome. But like him, I wouldn't have known what that was either at that particular time either.
Yeah, Dr. Chatton said that he had a name for it, but I can't remember what it was. I'll just,
They called it mongoloid, didn't they?
Mongoloid, yeah, that's the word, isn't it?
I still want to say that.
Not that.
Yeah, I know you didn't, but that's what they call it.
That's what.
I didn't know, I think the doctor wouldn't use that, would he?
Ask him. In the good ear.
Was it mongoloid? Did he say something about mongoloid?
no, it was my talk. He didn't say nothing like that.
Because that's what I heard more than Down syndrome.
He
A
just,
heart condition too, didn't he?
I just don't remember what it was.
He didn't say anything about his heart condition. He didn't detect a heart problem.
Well, that's
Well,
pretty much what Down syndrome
He didn't say
Randy,
anything about having a
you know,
is too.
I don't believe it was a heart. I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Too
but
too long, Hannah. I know it was a surprise to everybody.
But he looked like a perfect healthy child in the casket. It didn't look like a thing wrong with him. His little back was as bony as
Oh, really?
bony as it could be.
But he didn't gain weight. That's what started. I'm worried about him.
You know, gained any weight hardly.
I've always heard that when people have children later in life, like you had him, how old were you and Dad Mom when Randy was born?
When who was born?
Randy,
How old was I?
you'd already
I
had
was in 63,
90, you'd already had 9
1963.
kids, right? You already had 9 kids. This is what I've always heard, is like when you have children later in life,
Yeah.
you run a higher risk of that child being not right, you know, not quite developed. And I think there's a lot of truth in that.
Well, I think he's a fool.
I'm glad I was born
9-month
first.
baby, huh?
That's what's wrong with Sharon.
Mom was 42.
Poor
so
Randy.
Well, that wasn't, but that was late to have children.
Yeah.
42.
Mom was 40, wasn't she
Seemed like
42 or
the movie
43 when
stars
she had
had
me?
them forever, but
I don't remember, Sherry.
That would have been 54 then.
I was born in 62.
62, so she,
53 is more than 17, so
but I have always, haven't you always heard this?
Oh, yeah.
57.
Oh, it's still that way today.
Because your body
Sarah-
don't
Sarah
produce
Palin.
the same things as a
Good
healthy
example.
adult mother or dad, either one. But I was pregnant with Todd at the time. I think I was about 2 months. There's just a little bit of difference in them. And Dr. Schrader talked to me about that a lot, and that was something that he told me.
So what was your job when you came to Shoals?
What was my job when I come to shows?
Yeah,
Well, Hard Pie got me the job. He got me, he knowed the person that hired in up at Fabricast, up Bedford. He knowed the guy that hired him in up there. Because he took a Dale Carnegie course with him. And when he found out I had my application in up at Fabricast, been called everything since then though. And well, he said, I might be able to get you a job up there. He said, I went to a Dale Carnegie course with that guy. So he said, I'll call him. And he did. He called him and he called Marie then and told Marie to have me to come in the earliest convenience. So I'll come back home. I was thinking I'd come back next weekend.
Why did you move to Indiana?
Huh?
Why did you move to Indiana from Ohio?
Why? Well, I bought the old farm there.
Well, I know, but why?
Well, I thought I wanted a farm.
So why not in Ohio?
Huh?
Why not in Ohio instead of in?
Well, I couldn't, man, you couldn't touch nothing out there for less than $30,000 a farm. No, I bought that for $8,000.
Oh.
didn't the person that owned that property, wasn't he from Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah, they was from Middletown.
And they lived down here. They lived down here, but
Yeah, they
she
lived
didn't
about
like
a
it.
year.
Yeah. but
His,
she didn't
his
like it.
wife didn't like it down here.
Yeah.
That's what I was heard. So they put it in the real estate hands or in Middletown, and there was two guys that come down and looked at it ahead of me. One of them, I know both of them, but one of them I worked with out the Armco. And he said, it was around Christmas time, we was in town, run into him and his wife, and he told me about the farm. Said he been down and looked at it, said I liked it, everything, but said my wife didn't want to move down there unless I was ready to move with her. But anyway, he told me about the farm, and now this was Christmas time whenever I met him. Anyway, there was two more guys went down and looked at it. Another guy, after the first guy was telling me about it, there's another guy from Middletown went down and looked at it. But I don't know what reason he didn't buy it. But anyway, one that told me about the property said he wanted to move his wife down here and he could still work at Armco for a while. She wouldn't hold still for that.
Had an
But see, your
outdoor
mom
job,
did.
didn't it?
Your mom held still for that. I worked 3 months back in Ohio after I got down here.
I couldn't remember that part.
You came home on the weekends. You came home on the weekends, didn't you?
Every 2 weeks I was there. I had to set up
Yeah.
and come home every 2 weeks because I had to have feed for the cow. And I was having it drowned at Hog Pie Feed Mill. He found out I had an application up there at Fabricast. Why, he told me, well, I might get you a job to that guy. I said, I took a Dale Carnegie course with him. So it wasn't a week till Marie sent me a letter and told me to had your job up there, just come in the earliest convenience. And I come home that weekend and sure am today.
What did you do there? What did you do in your job?
Huh?
What did you do there as your job? What was your job?
Well, when I was working at Central Foundry, well, I put my application as a crane operator. I was operating the crane at Army Corps, Steve. And I didn't get no crane operator job, outboard job the first time I was there. I just got to work 6 weeks the first time. Laid off right before Christmas. And
I remember grandma's sending us oranges.
But the next
Just
time-
money to buy stuff.
I thought you worked at Frigidaire.
That's what I used to
that's
call
what I
it.
was working when I
Oh,
come to
it's-
Indiana.
Yeah, that's the Dayton, right?
Yeah, I worked there 6
I
years.
was calling the one in Bedford all the time, Frigidaire too. I was
yeah.
thinking it was connected with it, but maybe it, I don't know.
But Todd Pike got me a job at Central Foundry, or I want to call it Central Foundry.
That's what it became, was
It's
Central Foundry.
Fabricast.
It's the same place.
And what I've done while I was up there them 6 weeks was I worked for the heat treat department. And I boxed up all the parts they made and put them in big boxes. And they had a crane, the same crane that I run after I was there. Third time I was there, I run that crane. They got picked this up, them boxes up, and put them in the underground. Well, it's just placed down the floor for them to put them boxes in, and they call it heat treat. They put so much heat to them, and they done it, I don't know how long, 3 or 4 days, some of them longer than that. Then they pull them out, and they had a quenching tank, a water tank, and that's what the crane done. He picked them up and put them down in that crane, or in that water, and that made them harder, made the parts harder. They just had one crane up there, and I run it on the last part. I'll run the overhead crane. I think I was working. I was laid off about 3 times up there. But anyway, I run the crane one time I was off.
So you worked for Hod Pyatt and then for Gypsum?
Yeah, and Hot Pot wanted me to go work for him, store, and he gave me $60 a week, and I was only making $75, and I had to drive all the way to Bedford back. And I took him up on it.
Chickens, they killed chickens. Dad, did Mom kill, like dressed chickens?
Oh, yeah, she does chicken for Hot Pot.
Yeah. She'd come in and make extra
Her
money,
Madge,
plucking them feathers.
She
Winkle.
got that scar on her arm.
Yeah, I think maybe
That was
that's,
horrible. That chicken's head on.
That was funny, wasn't it?
Honey.
no, it ain't
Not
funny.
Mom getting hurt, I mean, the chickens were.
Yeah, he told me to go and work for him
That is
now.
hard work.
After being there about 3 years up
We
there.
did have a lot of.
Fabricast.
So Gypsum came in the early 50s,
55.
55, middle 50s, yeah.
You don't remember that?
Yeah, it was running 2 years when I went to work out
You
there.
went to work for them pretty soon after they moved in, right?
It opened up 55, 56, because Larry worked there too.
Huh?
55, 56, wasn't it?
55.
That's when it opened.
They started
on
in
my birthday.
54, and they had them all ready to go by the 16th of June.
So
Told me it
you-
was the 13th day of June.
You
'Cause you always, we're gonna work by
That was when I went to work up there. I did just like 3 days being there 2 years when I went to work on your birthday.
So you retired in what year from Gypsum?
Come up,
What, the year, what was the year you retired from Gypsum Company?
81.
US is on the highway.
That's
Eight-
National.
National.
No,
National.
he retired from National.
National,
30th
yeah,
day of November.
in 81.
Made 28 years I've been retired.
I'm glad you moved down here. At the time we came, I didn't like it.
You didn't?
No,
She
'cause
said that, but you know, it didn't
we
seem to
had a
bother me.
brand new
It didn't-
school.
I guess it
We
didn't
had a
matter to
brand new
me. I don't know.
school, and when I come down here, we went to Dover Hill with a little potbelly stove. I did.
Oh, yeah, the kids had these little
And
schools.
there was like 4 grades in that school, and I had a new school in
Fortunately,
West
in high
Delta.
school, so.
That's why I tell everybody, my school was new. And then we come down to this godforsaken place called Shoals, Indiana. And you know, that's the way I just tell them that. And I said, now I wouldn't leave it for nothing. The only way I'll leave is when I die. And then I'm gonna be buried here. But I'm glad that you did it. I think that you instilled things in us
Well,
kids
you
you don't
know,
even know about.
I couldn't, I thought I wanted a farm. Then after I got this one down here, I couldn't never get enough money in to put fence around it, you know, and it is a stock farm more than anything else. That's a stock farm. Just had a fence around the side I lived on. That's the only one that had a fence around it. And
How many
I
acres?
had 180 acres there. And I sold 2 acres off to Brody Brown.
Up there on the hill.
On top of the hill, across the Stinky Pew.
I don't remember what I got for that.
With the
no.
goats.
What was his name?
Yeah, we drank goat milk.
Oh, gross. I remember
I
that. Yeah, I do remember
You're
that.
not talking about where that awful trailer is right now.
No,
right?
where Whit Slick and Wanda.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to turn that, get that,
Well,
push
ain't
that over the
nobody,
hill.
there's nobody lives in it now.
Well, I know, but looks, it's an eyesore.
But Mom used to milk the cow. We had milk from the cow too, didn't we?
Had what?
We had milk
Yeah,
from the
we had
cow.
just one cow over here.
Keeping up for us, I guess.
Yeah, we just,
That's why I don't like milk
I
today.
don't remember nothing.
I
we
read
didn't have no milk, right? We didn't even need, we just
Can't
had
stand milk.
one cow for all the milk we needed.
So it wasn't enough.
Cold, that old cow, he
I
just
just remember
kicked
having
in.
goat
Here
milk.
we go.
I'm really glad to get rid of something.
I was a baby for a long time, remember?
Oh, that's all right.
That cow would get in the green onions, the wild onions, and we
Oh,
couldn't
my.
use it.
That was way before my time.
It did.
Yeah, they're getting them
I gotta
brown
have a
onions,
party
you
to
just
go
throw
to.
it
I
up
got
and down.
pies cooking down.
But I got it all
Eric, do you
over.
have any questions?
Hit that camera.
What was your favorite car that you owned?
Huh?
What was your favorite car that you owned?
Question.
I know what it was. What was your favorite car?
Favorite car?
Oh, no, Volkswagen.
Volkswagen.
I don't believe that.
Don't tell me he
You
don't
know
remember.
better than
A Ford.
Yeah, but which one of those Fords did you like the best?
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well,
Ford truck, probably.
You know that.
Galaxy
Mustang.
500.
Mustang.
Mustang, probably.
Mustang, probably.
Yeah,
65.
Mustang.
Fastback, wasn't it? 65?
I had 229 Fords. I had a 30 model Ford and a 31 model Ford. Next car was a 33 Chevrolet.
Well, what did we have when we came to
had an old
Indiana? We
Buick.
had a
I
different,
had a 42 Ford.
Oh, yeah.
that was a
I
Buick or
learned, I
something.
learned on a 49 Ford. That's how I
Huh?
learned to drive on that red 49 Ford. That
He's
red,
driven a
It's a big
Dodge
old
before,
car.
too.
that was a Ford.
Held
That
everything.
van, that Ford.
Remember that
I thought
one?
it was
A red one.
something
A red one,
besides
a red
Ford.
49 Ford?
Maybe they made
Yeah,
a
I
big.
do.
I remember having a red car.
Well, you did, Pop, because it wasn't mine.
Red car?
A red 49 Ford.
I don't remember the red car.
I remember
I just
that.
remember
I
that
think
black
maybe
one.
a
That
preacher
black
had it. I think maybe a preacher
Real pretty,
had it, or-
shiny.
Oh, I could be all wrong, but I remember it being red 49
I
Ford.
remember that black.
That's
Gal-
okay.
Galaxy.
Galaxy 500.
That's the one I had the accident in, or I was, when it was
62.
newly born.
62
When it was newly born.
That's what
That
it
was
is.
very new.
Oh, boy.
So what was your favorite car?
Huh?
What was your favorite car that you owned?
Ford.
Which one? What kind?
Yeah.
Ford is
I
all,
wouldn't trade Ford for none.
All of them?
all above.
I want to hear more about that Chevrolet you had.
I had 2 of them, I think.
Don't tell Larry Harding that.
Got Toyota now, though.
Yeah, we
I had
switched.
an Oldsmobile. Pontiac's one I never did own.
Switched, didn't we, Marilyn?
Yeah, we flipped.
We flipped
I had,
completely.
had a or Oldsmobile. That's after coming to Indiana
Just
too.
helping your grandson
I
out.
know. He's home this weekend. They were down in Princeton.
What were your favorite hobbies growing up?
Introducing a
And
new,
some of the hobbies that you like to do, you know? What were your favorite hobbies? Like, what things did you like to
new
do
one.
For fun.
for fun?
It's not a,
What'd you do for fun?
What I do for fun?
Yeah, what'd you do for fun?
Not that much fun.
Guitar,
no.
or music?
I guess playing music would be the only thing I know.
but it might be.
And playing music.
We used to have dances. You guys would play music together. I remember dancing all the time.
You would
That's
go,
all.
you'd go to senior citizens and play music and to nursing homes.
Yeah.
People love that with your group.
Yeah.
Do you want to name some people that you played music with?
What is some of them?
What are some of the people that you played music with? Your friends, music friends?
Pete Engelman.
Russell
Jarvis
Franklin,
Grace,
Yeah,
Ernest Down,
Pete
Ernest
Engelman.
Names,
Down,
names, I don't know them.
Bill Tinkle,
Oh, yeah, Hewitt, Dad,
Hewitt, yeah,
Hewitt,
Hewitt,
Clifford, yeah.
Wayne.
Russell.
Yeah,
I
Franklin.
said Russell Franklin.
Did you say Russell?
Wayne.
Oh, the guys up
Razine.
up at Dover Hills.
Wayne. Well, Crim. Wayne.
Bratton.
Wayne Crim played Wayne Crim.
Brattons.
And his dad,
Yeah, Brattons.
Brattons, played Frank Bratton, John Bratton,
Like the Gibson.
So see, you had
and
a
Paul
good time.
Brazing. Huh?
And they're all,
You had a good time doing that,
they're gone.
Yeah, I know.
Most of them are.
visiting your relatives in Ohio. His most fun thing to do would get out on Sunday afternoon and ride all around through the countryside.
Oh, yeah. I did that a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I used to go up to Williams all the time,
gas was cheap then.
but that was fun.
Usually got ice cream.
That's because we didn't have nothing else to do.
I know.
It was different.
I remember going to the movies downtown, Shoals, right there on the corner where the theater was at.
Yeah.
Seen the Blob.
Was it right
Sally
down
and
here?
I's head was like this the whole time.
The old show building is
We were
still there.
scared to death.
Inside of it's kind of dilapidated.
We were watching the Shoals Parade the other day. We started back to French Lick after, what were we doing over here? We went to the ball game.
Yeah. It was over in 5 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had to stop us downtown, and they said, oh, yeah, the parade's starting. So we headed on out. I thought we were going home. Steve turns around, he comes back, and he parks in that parking lot right where it was coming out. So we sat in the car and watched the
Yeah, that
Shoals
was
Parade,
nice of you.
Christmas parade. And I was pointing, well, that theater reminded me, I was pointing out to the kids, I said, I used to take Sheila to a movie. We used to take her to movies in that building.
It was really good too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because
we
that's
thought
all
so.
we had.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, well, we parked about where Wilson was working, on that gas station. That's where we were sitting the other day, by the old bus station.
Shell station. Old Shell station.
Right there on the
Was it a
corner,
Shell when
there's
Casey
nothing
owned it?
there. Yeah.
So anyway, it was
Remember
kind of, it
Wilson
was
working
neat
out.
seeing the parade. And they'd stop the traffic and then hold
So
up
it's
the
not
parade a
like
while,
George
let the
Irvin's.
traffic move.
Not where George Irvin's was
All
at,
the way
no.
across the road.
Road, by the bus stop.
By the
Did
liquor
Joe own
store
that one
now,
too?
by the
The
liquor
bus stop.
store.
That shows gas is 19 cents a gallon.
19 cents a gallon for gas.
Yeah.
There's a good one for stereo.
Sure.
I pumped gas down the hard pipes, that they were kind of pump, you had to pump the gas in the tank.
You had to pump it.
You had to get a hold of the,
Yeah,
Like a slot machine?
yeah, kind of like a slot machine. That's where I got my practice.
That's when you actually pump.
No, I didn't do that with gas.
No, I've seen gas down 10 cents a gallon. Back
Nine,
during the
9 cents a
Depression,
gallon?
29 Depression.
During the Depression, about like now, you mean?
They, well, Benton run them stations. Sold gas for 9 cents a gallon.
How much?
99 cents.
It was 9.9 back then.
9.9.
9.9. And that,
9.9, it'd be less than 10, 12 cents a gallon. Not 99 cents.
No, he didn't say
he said 9
99.
and 9.
He didn't
Oh,
say
9.5,
99, he said
yeah.
9.9, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, 9.9.
He
I
was
thought you were
saying,
saying 99.
no, he was saying 9 and 9/10.
Well, Joe had that station there by the, on the corner. That's where Larry grew
But
up.
there's just one company, Wood Oil Company.
Is that the same
Joe had a
Cheap as
station?
station there
gas.
too, and then he had,
Learn-
and then he had one
Wood Oil
across the
Company,
street.
they's over at
Joe was
Camden.
Joe had a station right there on the corner
I
going
know
down
you buy
Main
gas
Street.
anywhere
You
cheaper
turn
than Wood
right,
Oil
go down
Company.
Main Street's right there on that left, right.
Been
By the
running
Violence Beauty
for
Shop,
them for a
where I
while.
worked so long, huh?
Oh, Harry Trainer place.
No, right across from that.
Oh, that was where my violin shop.
It's where Dot's shop is, where that place is there now.
Oh, yeah, I worked for him then.
Yeah. That's
So he wasn't
still the
across the
building
street,
that.
was he? He never did work.
I think he was there by the bus stop maybe a short
Oh,
time.
was he?
Yeah, I think
don't
so.
remember that. Well, I worked for him for years. 50 cents an hour.
Yeah. Larry worked there all his
Are
life.
you guys ready?
That's the only job he.
Change? Guess Derek, if you're happy with,
Anything else?
Anything else you wanna know?
Seemed like we talked about 92 years and how long here?
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Has it been an hour and a half?
Hour and 12 minutes.
That's good. You can get something out of that, can't you?
Got 45 minutes more tape here, so whatever you wanna do.
I gotta go get my pie.
Who were your favorite bands or your musicians that you liked? Music.
Well,
He didn't hear you, Derek.
Who are your favorite music artists, like your favorite
My
bands?
favorite music,
country music.
Country music.
Hank?
Hank Williams?
Ours
I like a lot of them, but I like Johnny Cash's.
Johnny Cash. And,
Tennessee Ernie Ford? Is that what you said?
I said Hank Williams, I think I did, I'm not sure.
A lot of them I like, but I can't think of them right now.
Grand Ole Opry stars he liked.
Grandpa Jones,
Oh, I
home and
wasn't
take off
crazy
my
about
brown
his
socks.
singing.
George
They are
Jones.
brown there.
George, I like George.
When I look down there, I look
Lorelli and
I got cataracts.
Loretta, yeah, I like
Patsy
her.
Get
Cline.
out
Patsy Cline.
night and
Loretta Lynn?
I gotta probably have my.
Tammy
thing off like
Wynette.
now and then.
Yeah,
how about
I
Dolly?
like Tommy. Who?
Dolly
Parton,
What was the guy that she played?
Grandma,
What was
what's her
his
name?
Wagner.
Huh?
Porter Wagon.
Porter
Grandma,
Wagner.
Grandma Jones or?
You mean there was a lady singer called that?
I'm thinking of lady,
Grandpa Jones.
the thing that, the woman that,
Wore the
wore
hat.
the hat with the hat tag on it. Minnie Pearl.
Minnie Pearl.
Minnie Pearl.
Oh, yeah.
You don't.
He liked going to the Grand Ole Opry. We've gone
Yeah,
to
we-
that.
we went to
the
that
Grand
show.
Ole Opry before, taking her
Yeehaw.
on
She was on there.
Yeah, she was.
2 or 3 times.
Never seen her.
That's country music, old country, now ain't country to me.
That's
No,
right.
No, it has changed quite a bit.
It's rock music. It's
Had
rock
to
country.
slide.
What would you say to future
That's what I got
generations?
for
Just something that,
Pat's granddaughter.
what would be
That's she
something that
wanted
you
to
would,
say.
what kind of advice would you want to give to future generations of our family, down the road, great grandchildren? What is something you'd want to say to them?
What advice would you give your great-great-grandchildren down the road? What advice would you give them? Is that the word I want to use?
Yeah,
That's a pretty good question.
yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one.
Yeah, I ask those kind of questions.
No, I can't answer that.
Okay.
That's a cop-out. Because it's a tough one. It is a tough one.
Any sayings, any quotes, sayings that you would, you think are important and would want to pass on?
No,
How to treat people, or
I don't know.
How to
Derek.
live a good
Work
life.
hard. But I think I'm really beginning to realize his situation. We don't know what young people do anymore. You don't know what they're learning, you don't know. I'm wanting to hire a college student to come and live with me, just teach me the computer.
That's a good idea.
Oh, Alexa could help.
Alexa,
Well, my kids do that.
oh, I think I can get
It's all
Stuart to
fun
come and
anyway.
help me.
She knows she's, gets on my phone and
so
sits right there.
He's a sweetie. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of sweeties.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless you want to talk more about Maria, you know, anything else about her?
What's your favorite thing that you remember about our mom?
Sing on what?
What's your most favorite thing that you remember about Mom?
It's Martha Jane.
That's a
that
good,
sings
he's gonna
it.
say, that's a good question.
I know what Martha Jane
They all said
I
cook.
know,
I was gonna say,
Who would say, Mark?
Al said that woman could make the best biscuits in the world.
There's a lot of things about
there's
my
more than
mom.
just one thing, isn't
A
there?
lot of things, well, what are those? Besides being pretty.
Pretty, yeah. No, she's a good wife, I'll tell you that.
Good cook,
Huh?
good cook.
Good cook, yeah. She's no fancy cook, but she's good cook.
I have a picture, Mom, you know, that I put in the paper. I think I gotta go back and get that too. It's at the news office. But I had it on when I had it at the shop. And nobody ever, they just always look at her picture and then say, that's the sweetest woman I've ever seen. Most beautiful woman and kind to everybody. She had a lot of friends, didn't she, Dad? She had a lot of people that, it isn't about what you do or, it's how you treat people, how she
Did you
treated
see her
people.
name in the paper this week? Showed the paper? Marie's?
No, it was in Glancing Back.
Yeah, it's in the show's news.
What did she
caught
do?
that,
I missed it. What was it?
Well, that's where the freeze night back then, and they had a party for
Oh, they had a
Christmas
party.
party, and they
Okay.
listed everybody.
No, I
before.
didn't see that, Dad.
Les Mosier, one of
Yeah.
them.
But never, everybody that knew her loved her.
I think she treated us all pretty well.
Somebody asked me once what, it was Mother's
It
Day.
said no, it ain't the 25-year arc, was the one below that yet.
50 year,
50.
I was gonna say. Yeah, because our kids are in that 25.
I always read that article about every week.
Okay.
That's a wrap.
We'll probably think of a lot of things
Yeah.
afterwards.
Oh, we
yeah,
say,
you can do it again.
well, why don't, we could do it again,
Do
you
it
know?
reunion.
Sometimes you have different situations where it's,
Different people can ask different questions.